Welcome to Astro Venture, the DSLR astrophotography channel. Hey there, Astro Ventures, welcome back. If you're new to this astrophotography channel, my name is George, and this is the astrophotography channel for DSLR and mirrorless camera bodies, combined with the lenses we already own and a simple star tracker like the SkyGuider Pro or the Star Adventurer. Tonight I'm in my local deep sky park, and I'm attempting failure. And what I mean is I've decided to really go for an extremely difficult target, particularly for those of us using our SkyGuiders or Star Adventurers combined with camera lenses and camera bodies, because I'm going for the Iris Nebula. And from what I understand in all my research, and this is coming from a lot of telescope guys, what I'm hearing is you have to have at least bare minimum 10 hours of shooting time. So tonight I'm going for it. I'm at 765 millimeters. Working on my SkyGuider there. I'm having to keep tweaking it and adjusting it about every 15 minutes because at that focal length, that's a long ways out there. And I'm looking at 2-minute exposures at an ISO of 3200, and my aperture is at 6.7. So my intention, shoot for the next couple nights over this Labor Day weekend when the opportunity presents itself, and we're supposed to have some great skies other than some smog up there. But let's see what we can do for a truly difficult target that's more in the realm of telescopes, and see if we can pull it off with our simple system and camera lenses and bodies. So I'll rejoin you at the computer after a couple days, and we'll see success or failure. Hey there, Astro Ventures, welcome back. So here we are at the computer. This is at the 5-hour point of collecting data. I want to take a look at this and see what does it look like. Do I need to commit 5 more hours to it, or am I happy with what I have here? So as you can see, this is the TIFF file stacked in Deep Sky Stacker. 5 hours of data. The image is very, very dark, as you can see. But let's see what we can do with this. So we're going to go ahead and open up this TIFF file. And throughout this, I will be using Control M for opening up curves, Control L for doing levels. I will keep on the left-hand side of the screen my histogram so I can kind of see what's going on there. And we'll work through this. And I will also be using some software called, it's from Pro Digital software called Astro Flat Pro. Along with, I will be using with the curves the ArcSine plug-in download that you can use. So let's get started here. First thing that I like to do is Control J, duplicate the layer, so that way there I'm not using or messing with the original. I'm going to go Control M. I'm going to hit a ArcSine of 30 to get started. Normally I will only do an ArcSine of 10 and move in those increments, but this image is particularly dark. Control L. I'm going to do a little bit of bringing it back to the blacks. Oops, I hit Control L, I meant Control M. Control M, I'm going to go in here, do another ArcSine 10. Okay, there it is. You can start to see the nebulosity of the Iris Nebula, this reflection nebula starting to show. Control L, I'm going to bring this back over again. Enter. Control M. Sorry, I'm working faster than what the computer can do. Control M, and let's do another ArcSine 10. There we go. Okay, at this point here, you can see we're starting to get this wash, starting to get some noise color, and you can see, or some noise color noise, and you can see my histogram is starting to come over. This is where I like to use the software from Pro Digital Software, Astro Flat Pro. And what this software does is it will take out glow in the sky. It helps to correct for gradients coming off of city noise. It's an amazing piece of software. And here you can see it kind of did a reset there, cleaned it back up, hit OK. I'm now going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to take a look at some of that noise in camera raw. And as this comes up, I will be messing with the noise, color noise, to see if I can cancel some of that out. And when I do that, here it is. You can see how much noise is in there. And I'm going to come over here to basic, jump down to, I apologize, not basic, coming down to detail. I'm going to open that up and color noise reduction. I'm going to slide this over, and what I'm looking for is to minimize some of that color noise that's in there. There we go. Click OK. Okay, help clean that up. Now I'm going to go back into my camera raw filter. I like to do one adjustment in the camera raw filter, commit to it, come back out, go back in. And so I'm going to go back in now, and I'm going to go into basic. I'm going to go into my contrast, bring some of that up. I'm going to make my black areas a little bit darker, and then I'm going to come down here to the vibrance, give that just a little bit of a push, and I'm going to push this towards some blue just to help neutralize some of the coloring here. There we go. Jump back. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate that layer again because I am now jumping to my hue and saturation. And if I don't like what this does, it's on its own layer, so I can get rid of it. I'm going to come in here. As you saw, I clicked the little hand with the left-right arrows. I am going to come in here, put the eyedropper in, do a slide. There we go. Bring out some of the color. There we go. I'm going to do another hue and saturation. This time I'm going to go for some of the colors over on the side. See what we could do here. There we go. And thinking I'm liking that there. Okay, and now I'm going to go Control Shift Alt and E, so it gives me a fresh layer with all of the adjustments that I have made to this. There we go, and I think I'm going to take a look at my camera raw. Get in here, make a couple more adjustments. One, I've got a bit of a red cast in here. I want to see about getting rid of some of that. And to do that, I'm going to go into the color mixer, and on the saturation, I'm going to pull that back some. Sometimes I like to go way over to the side and see what it's doing for me. Okay, there we go. Brought that over. Again, I'm going to do a bit of a push on some of the blue, do a bit of a push on some of the purple that's in there, touch of the magenta. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I'm liking that much better, much better. Okay, and then last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to filter. I'm going to go down to Topaz Labs, and I'm going to use the Topaz Denoise AI. Now, this particular software is amazing, and I find that it does a great job for our astrophotography. Because we tend to pick up so much of the noise, and we get some of the modeling that's in the image because of noise that's in there. And this is where shooting all those calibration frames, the flats and everything come into play. But we still tend to get that picked up. And I have found the Topaz AI to work amazing. Now, for what it's doing, it does run pretty quick, but it is a slow process because it's doing a lot of calculating. So at this point here, I'm just going to pause, let this continue to run, and then I'll jump back in once it's gotten through. Well, actually, there it is. It's done its cleanup. You can see on the left side of the screen that modeling I was talking about. You can see how it's cleaned it up on the right. Now over here, you'll notice some of these little imperfections that are in here, but I found that they really don't show up in the actual image because I'm not zoomed in this close. So I'm now going to hit apply. The settings that I used was I let it go auto. And that's, you know, and oftentimes I like what it does. So I'm going to click apply. I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera at this point because it's going to take a couple minutes for this to actually commit, and then I'll rejoin once it's kicked it back to the main body of Photoshop. Here it is. We're down to the final 10 seconds before the reveal as the Topaz Denoise finishes its little cleanup work, and there it is, kicked it back over, and let's take a look at the image. You see how much smoother all of this is. It got rid of all of that horrible modeling that was going on. So at this point here, I would save the file and so that I have that Photoshop image. But let's do a quick crop down. I'm going to get rid of, because you can see up here, and actually let's back out of that for a moment so you can see what I'm talking about. Up in this upper right corner, you can see this had to do with the alignment of the images, and so we're going to trim off those ugly areas that happen. And so let's see here, crop this in, and then there we go. Move this over. Excellent. Okay, so while it does its thing, one of the other programs that I often use, particularly for really small images, and this one isn't too bad, is I use the Topaz Enlarger. I believe it's called Gigapixel. I will include the text there. It does an amazing job at upsizing images. You have a lot of control in the scaling and what exactly your intent is that you're going to do. But overall, the Topaz Denoise AI, I cannot recommend it enough, because as you can see here, how much cleaner this image has gotten. And then a plugin that I like to use, and I'm going to do this for a quick moment here, is it's in Windows Actions, and these are from Astronomy Tools. And what I like to do at this point is I'm just going to make the stars a little bit smaller. So I select it, I'm going to click play. It's going to run, do its edit, take just a moment, but it helps to bring the stars just a little bit smaller. And one of the things that I found is that after the cleanup that Topaz Denoise AI did, because of those little artifacts that are there, which I said really don't show up in the bigger image, but after I've done that, I like to run the as I said, the astronomy tools. I like to run the make stars smaller, because it just helps to pull all that down a little bit. It allows your target to have a little bit more prominence because you have made the stars smaller. And then there's a lot of great things in here if you like to have the diffraction spikes on your stars. It has that included with the astronomy tools download. And then you can, choose large stars, medium stars, diffraction spike, all of them if you like. So let's see here. So we just did that with making the stars a little bit smaller. And then I am going to, just for the purpose of showing you, I will go ahead and go back into that action, into the astronomy tools, and let's put some diffraction spikes on here. Let's see here. Okay, star diffraction spikes, medium stars. Let's do them on let's do the medium for the purpose of showing. So I'll go ahead and run that. Again, it's going to run its little process here. And while that's going on, I just want to ask you that if you've liked the information that we share here at Astro Venture, consider ringing the bell, liking this video, share it. It really helps us to grow, and share it with this small community of astrophotographers. And then we also have our Facebook group, Astro Venture DSLR. It's an awesome place to share your images, talk with other people in the same niche of doing what we're doing, and share what you've got going on, as well as we help each other out with troubleshooting. So it's a great place. I would love to see you there, and I will go ahead and pause this camera for a moment and let this finish up, and then rejoin you and show you some of these spikes that it generates. Okay, so it just finished. I'm going to go ahead and close out these actions. And here you can see we've got some cool spikes going on, but obviously we wouldn't want this one in the center. And for this reason, this is why I should have actually duplicated this layer over here that you just saw the the mark on the screen. I should have duplicated that layer. That way I could do a mask. I should have duplicated the layer first, done the star spikes, and then I could have done a mask on here to get rid of that star spike in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and do it here. Now, it did give me the underlying ugliness that was from before. Topaz Denoise cleaned it up. But overall, let me close this out. There is my finished image. I've got the little diffraction spikes on there. The Topaz AI, Denoise AI cleaned up the image, and I'm happy with the Iris Nebula. And honestly, here at 5 hours of data, I'm not going to spend the time going out there and spending another 5 to get up to the 10 hours that the telescope guys were telling me about, because quite honestly, I'm happy with the image. Maybe at some future date I might, but for right now, I'm happy with this. So until next time, I wish you clear skies and uneventful nights.